So, beta, in the last class, then we had gone ahead and we had talked about we did the start the spending model, and we went ahead and we talked about what is the IS curve and how does it depend on income and interest rate. इस बारे में हमने already बात की थी. Then I got ahead and I told you, look, the net exports are export minus import. Export is a function of foreign income and exchange rate, and import is a function of foreign income and domestic income and exchange rate. Right? ये हमने किया था. We said that when foreign income will increase, exports will increase. When domestic income will increase, imports will increase. And when our exchange rate will increase, that means there is depreciation of the exchange rate, export will increase, import will fall. When exchange rate will fall, that means appreciation of the exchange rate, export will decrease, import will increase. ये बात हमने करी थी, इतनी बात हमने कर ली थी. Today, let us start by understanding, बच्चे, what is marginal propensity to import. Marginal propensity to import. Try to understand this thing. Marginal propensity to import tells me how much extra will my, so ध्यान से समझो, marginal propensity to consume was telling me कि consumption कैसे change होगी जब income change होगी. तो marginal propensity to import बताता है कि imports कैसे change होंगे जब income change होगी. How will imports change when income changes? That is called as marginal propensity to import. ठीक है, जैसे for example बच्चे, if I tell you my marginal propensity to import, this is 0.8. हमें पता है अगर हमारी इनकम बढ़ेगी, when the income of any person will increase in India, his spending will increase. अब जब वो स्पेंडिंग बढ़ाएगा, when he will spend more money, he can spend this money on two things, either on domestic goods, या तो अपने इंडिया के goods and service खरीद ले, or he can go ahead and he can spend his money on the foreign goods, या वो बाहर से कुछ extra मंगवा ले. So his spending can go ahead and increase on two things, या domestic goods पे या imports पे. So 0.8 tells us that when income increases by 1 unit, then beta imports increase by 0.8 units. जब income 1 unit से बढ़ेगी तो imports 0.8 unit से change होंगे. Now, beta till now, when it was a closed economy, जब हमारी closed economy थी, then we were saying that the IS curve equation was y plus y is equal to c plus I plus g. मतलब हम ये बोल रहे थे कि whatever is our income, जो भी income है वो सब domestic spending पे खर्च हो रही है. It is being used on the domestic spending. We are using all our income on domestic spending. But now the moment we jump to open economy, जैसे ही हम open economy की तरफ गए, we are going ahead and we are saying that for our IS curve, when we find the goods market, the equation is y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. है ना? And we are saying that look, ये जो part है ना, this part, c plus I plus g, I can call this part as domestic spending. Domestic spending किस चीज का function था? What is the function? What is it a function of? Well, simple, income and interest rate. जो IS कर्व बन रहा था आज तक वो इनकम और इंटरेस्ट रेट के बीच में तो बन रहा था, right? So the domestic spending was a function of income and interest rate. When interest rate was increasing, investment was decreasing, When investment was decreasing, income was decreasing. When interest rate was decreasing, जब interest rate कम होता था तो investment बढ़ जा रही थी. When investment was increasing, income was increasing. Right, beta? So we are saying that it is a function, ये जो domestic spending वाला part है ना, it is a function of income and interest rate. Now we have a component of net exports, and we are saying that net export is a function of income, foreign income and exchange rate. ये हमने अभी ऊपर explain कर दिया. Net export is a function of income, foreign income and exchange rate. Clear है बच्चे? So we are saying that when we go towards open economy, IS curve, जब हम open economy के IS curve की बात करते हैं, then net export is also a component of the aggregate demand, right? And our exchange rate is also affecting our IS curve now, right? And the foreign income is also affecting our IS curve. बाकी बाय तो पहले भी था IS curve में, but now it is being affected by R and the foreign income also, right? Clear है बात? Okay, now just try to see when I will compare. So let me do a comparison between closed and open economy IS curve. So when I will go ahead and compare closed versus open economy IS curve, जब मैं इन दो को compare करूंगी, what will I find out? बच्चे, I will find out that now in the open economy IS curve, there is an additional component. Open economy IS curve में Y को affect होने वाला या करने वाला एक extra component आ गया है. There is an extra component, right? So just think about it. Initially, when your interest rate was increasing, जब आपका or decreasing, let's say, when your interest rate was decreasing, then what was happening, beta? Your investment was increasing. Then when investment was increasing, your income was increasing, and this entire income was spent on domestic goods. आज तक ये हो रहा था in closed economy that when your income was increasing, you were spending your entire income on the domestic goods. Clear है? But now what will happen? When interest rate will decrease, no problem, your investment will increase. No problem, your income will increase. But this income is now split. या आप उसको domestic goods पे spend कर सकते हो, या आप उसको import पे spend कर सकते हो. Either you will spend on domestic goods or you will spend them on the import, right? So some part of the income, हम कह सकते हैं that some part of income under open economy can be spent on your imports. अब कुछ पार्ट इनकम का imports पे जा रहा है और डोमेस्टिक गुड्स पे आधा. सो इट्स लाइक दिस. आज तक अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट जब 100 रुपीज से बढ़ती थी, से इनकम 200 से बढ़ती थी, तो इनकम सीधा डोमेस्टिक गुड्स की कंजम्पशन को 200 से बढ़ा रही थी, बिकॉज यू वर इन अ क्लोज्ड इकोनॉमी. नाउ व्हेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इंक्रीजेस बाय 100, इनकम तो अभी भी 200 से बढ़ेगी. इनकम विल स्टिल इंक्रीज बाय 200, बट सपोज डोमेस्टिक गुड्स 150 से बढ़ेंगे और इंपोर्ट्स 50 से. 150 रुपीज आप डोमेस्टिक गुड्स पे खर्च कर रहे हो और इंपोर्ट्स पे 50. सो नाउ यू आर स्पेंडिंग सम पार्ट ऑफ योर इनकम ऑन द इंपोर्ट्स ना. वही तो मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू इंपोर्ट बता रहा है कि हाउ मच यू विल स्पेंड ऑन इंपोर्ट्स, राइट? So because you are spending some part of income on imports, it means that your IS curve, it will be now steeper, because when the interest rate will be decreasing, your domestic spending will now be increasing by less amount. 150 से ही बढ़ी है, 200 से नहीं बढ़ी. So I can go ahead and say कि if this represents a closed economy IS curve, it represents closed economy IS curve, where I am saying that suppose interest rate decreased. Earlier I was spending 100 rupees, Now I will be spending 200 rupees on domestic goods. Now what happens, bache? When the interest rate will decrease, open economy में क्या हो गया? That when the interest rate will decrease, I will be spending only 150 on the domestic goods. I will be spending lesser on the domestic goods. So I will, when interest rate decreases by this amount, I will go only from 100 to 150. मैं सिर्फ इतने तक बढ़ी. I go only from point A to point B. And earlier I was going from point A to point C. Am I clear? पहले मैं सारे domestic goods पे ही खर्च कर रही थी. So all 200, I was going from 100 to 200. Everything was being spent on the domestic goods under closed economy. But now I am only increasing to 150. So I am only spending some amount on the domestic goods and बाकी मैं foreign goods पे खर्च कर रही हूँ, right? So we can go ahead and say that the IS curve will now become steeper. IS curve अब steeper हो जाएगा, right? And what does a steeper IS curve means? It means that, please write down, for a reduction in interest rate, it takes smaller increase in output and income to restore goods market equilibrium. Clear, beta? Acha, now, very important. Beta, if I want to look into the effect of other things, जैसे for example, अगर मैं आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं कि how will the exchange rate affect my IS curve? So question, if I ask you what happens when the real exchange rate R increases, या nominal exchange rate increases, what will happen? बेटा एक्सचेंज रेट इंक्रीज होने का मतलब हो गया दैट यू आर गोइंग फ्रॉम ₹60 per dollar to say ₹70 per dollar. माने दिस इज डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द करेंसी, राइट? इट इज डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द करेंसी. एंड अगर करेंसी डेप्रिशिएट होगी, we know that exports will increase and imports will fall. So export minus import will increase. So net exports will increase. So we can say that y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. And we are saying that, look, this net export now, it will increase when your currency will depreciate. और अगर ये net export बढ़ेंगे बच्चे, तो won't your output also increase? Yes, output will increase. So we are saying that when there is depreciation of the currency, there is going to be an increase in the output. अब देखो जरा ध्यान से बच्चे, we know that when we plot the ISLM curve, it is in the IY space. This is your IS curve, this is your LM curve, और ये आपका इक्विलिब्रियम इंटरेस्ट रेट हो जाता है और इक्विलिब्रियम लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट हो जाता है. अब नेट एक्सपोर्ट तो इंक्रीज हुए हैं, बट इंटरेस्ट रेट तो कोई बीच में, देयर इज नो रोल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रेट, है ना? इंटरेस्ट रेट हैजंट चेंज्ड. So when net exports have increased, your output has increased, and clearly this is goods market. So in the goods market, net exports have increased, जिसकी वजह से output बढ़ा है, and at the same interest rate, you have more output. So basically the IS curve is shifting to the right. Output बढ़ गया ना? Output has increased at the same interest rate. Interest rate change नहीं हुआ, but because the currency depreciated, the exchange rate increased, the net exports increased, so my output increased. So output increase हुआ, तो IS curve shifted to the right. And when the IS curve shifted to the right, what will happen to your equilibrium, beta? Initially equilibrium E पे था, new equilibrium E dash पे होगा. So the interest rate will increase and the level of the output will also increase. Interest rate भी increase हो गया और output का level भी increase हो गया. So we can go ahead and say that when there is depreciation of the currency, suppose somebody asks you the effect of depreciation of the currency. So you can say that when there is depreciation of the currency, the equilibrium interest rate and equilibrium level of output increases. दोनों ही बढ़ जाएंगे, whether it is equilibrium interest rate or output, both will increase. Clear है? Okay, बच्चे. Question number 2. Suppose I tell you that there is increase in foreign income. Foreign income में increase आ गया. So when income of foreigners increase, क्या होता है? What do we know? We know that when foreign income will increase, there will be increase in the exports. वो हमारे goods की ज्यादा demand करेंगे. There will be an increase in the exports. और जब exports की demand बढ़ेगी, so export minus import will increase. So net export will increase. तो net export increase होंगे, then we have already shown now what will happen. When net exports will increase, income will increase, interest rate change नहीं हुआ है, the IS curve will shift to the right and equilibrium income and interest rate will increase. तो इसमें भी हम बोल सकते हैं that when foreign increases, the IS curve shifts rightwards and then therefore equilibrium income and interest rate increases. बेटा दोनों इक्विलिब्रियम इनकम और इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीज हो जाएंगे. So sometimes we may want to go ahead and we may want to prepare a chart out of it. ठीक है, तीन ही फैक्टर्स हैं हमारे नेट एक्सपोर्ट के, डोमेस्टिक इनकम, इक्विलिब्रियम इनकम और एक्सचेंज रेट. तो इन तीनों के ही साथ what we can go ahead and we can do is we can prepare a chart. हम इसका एक चार्ट बना सकते हैं. So we can go ahead and say that okay, let us take our income here and our net export here, domestic income, foreign income, exchange rate. जब income बढ़ती है, when income increases, तो बच्चे income income नहीं, let's say this as home spending, domestic spending. ये better word होगा. So when domestic spending will increase, जब लोग ज्यादा खर्चा करेंगे, then you can consider it like this. If spending is increasing, then people will demand more goods. When they will demand more goods, income of the people, other people will increase. So income in the economy will increase. Right? But when domestic spending will increase, अगर लोग अपना पैसा घर पे खर्च कर रहे हैं, घर पे मतलब कि within the country खर्च कर रहे हैं, within the domestic region खर्च कर रहे हैं. So when domestic spending will increase, then what will happen, बच्चे? Increase in domestic spending means they will spend less on the imports. वो imports पे कम खर्च करेंगे, domestic spending पे ज्यादा खर्च करेंगे, right? So when domestic spending increases, they may want to go ahead and they may want to spend less on the imports. एक बात ये हो गई. But we don't want to look into that. We want to look into the fact what happens when there is increase in the domestic income of the people. When there is increase in the domestic income of the people, जब लोगों की इंडिया के अंदर इनकम बढ़ती है, then what will happen? बेटा दो चीजें हो सकती हैं. Either they will spend their money within India, या तो वो इंडिया के अंदर अपनी डिमांड बढ़ा दें, और जो हमने बताया that they will spend their income spending on the imports, वो बाहर से जो गुड्स डिमांड कर रहे हैं वो भी वो ज्यादा डिमांड करें. So whenever your income will increase, जैसे अगर मेरी इनकम बढ़ती है, what will I do? Either I can go ahead and I can spend my money domestically. मैंने यहीं से कुछ खरीदा, कपड़े खरीदे, क्लोथ्स खरीदे, चॉकलेट्स खरीदी, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. और I can import something. Maybe मेरे को एक परफ्यूम बहुत पसंद था जो इंडिया के बाहर से आता है. I will just order that perfume. So I can increase my demand within India also and within the imports also. Irrespective, जब मैंने demand बढ़ाई तो मेरी income बढ़ेगी further. Because imagine ना, if I demand more of clothes, तो जिससे मैंने clothes खरीदे जिस shopkeeper से, उसकी income बढ़ी and a multiplier effect is created. So when I will spend more, then my income will increase further. There will be a further multiplication effect. And if I spend my income on the imports, तो बेटा when imports will increase, तो export minus import will decrease, net export will decrease. So there will be a negative effect on net export and positive effect on the income. Clear हुई ये बात? नाउ थिंक अबाउट द फॉरेन इनकम. अगर एक पर्सन जो यूएस में बैठा है उसकी इनकम बढ़ती है, व्हाट विल ही डू? बेटा, ही विल डिमांड मोर ऑफ द गुड्स. उसकी इनकम बढ़ी तो वो अपनी डिमांड बढ़ाएगा. He can spend either on goods within US or he can increase his demand for Indian goods. जो goods इंडिया से यूएस में जाते हैं वो उसकी डिमांड में तो बढ़ाएगा. So what we are exporting, that will increase. Our exports will increase. Beta, when exports will increase, तो net export, which is export minus import, ये भी बढ़ जाएगा. और जब नेट एक्सपोर्ट्स बढ़ेंगे, जब हमारे गुड्स ज्यादा बाहर जा रहे हैं, व्हेन वी आर एक्सपोर्टिंग मोर, नेट एक्सपोर्ट्स बढ़ रहे हैं, तो हमारी इनकम भी तो बढ़ेगी. इफ आई एम एबल टू सेल मोर, ये डोमेस्टिक प्रोड्यूसर है बच्चे, अगर ये डोमेस्टिक प्रोड्यूसर ज्यादा सेल कर पा रहा है इंडिया के बाहर, तो हिज प्रोडक्शन इज इंक्रीजिंग, ही इज एबल टू सेल मोर, सो हिज इनकम विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज ना. सो बोथ नेट एक्सपोर्ट्स विल इंक्रीज एंड इनकम विल इंक्रीज. क्लियर? Now, bache, let's talk about depreciation of the currency. So, when the currency will depreciate, it means क्या होता है? आपकी currency cheaper हो गई है. So, your exports will increase and imports will decrease. बाकी का effect same है. If your exports will increase, net exports will increase. When your exports will increase, मतलब लोग आपके products की demand ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं. So, your producer sitting in India, he will sell more abroad. So, his income will increase. The domestic income in the economy will increase. Right? So when there is depreciation of the currency, income increases and net exports also increase. This table is very, very important. इस table से almost सारे question exam के answer हो जाते हैं. What happens when income of the consumer increases in India? What happens when foreign income increases? What happens when real exchange rate or the nominal exchange rate depreciates? ये सारे ही answer can be done just using this table. This table is very important from that perspective.